Welcome to my tutorial about animating diagrams and charts with masks. If you don't use an own diagram, you will have to separate the foreground and the background. I use PaintNet because it has an expansive library of plugins. The first step is to select the part you want to animate and delete it. You select the background color with the color picker, and then you use the fill bucket to fill in the color. Save these pictures with a new name. Copy this picture with Ctrl A and Ctrl C. Press then Ctrl N to open a new document. You paste the picture into this new document. Create a second layer and paste the complete diagram into it. Also create a third layer. Since most diagrams have a grid background, you will have to recreate it. Use the color picker to determine the grid color. I use a grid maker plugin which I downloaded from the PaintNet forum. I put the link in the description. To recreate the grid, adjust the horizontal and vertical steps. If the grid doesn't consist of squares, just deselect same step H/Y. I'll skip this part and just show you the results. As you can see, the grid is on top of the diagram. Unfortunately, this needs some filling. Now the foreground has to be separated. To create a new document with the right dimensions, you have to select all with Ctrl A. If you now press Ctrl N, you will have the correct dimensions, so just press Enter. Go back to the original diagram and select just the part you want to animate, so the foreground. Copy it and paste it into the new document. As you can see, the position is the same as in the original diagram. To get rid of the white border, just select it with the magic wand and then delete it. The best would be, of course, to delete it at the start. Export this as a PNG to ensure that the background is transparent. Finally, we can use Shotcut. You can now add the foreground and the background to the playlist, as well as the original diagram. Create two video tracks and insert the background into the first video track and the foreground into the second. Add to the foreground PNG the filter mask simple shape, and in my case I reduce the softness to 0%. For the animation you need keyframes, so activate them under View. I think the initial layout was a tab below the timeline, but I'm not quite sure anymore. I moved it to the right after I activated it. Move the playhead in the end position because it's much easier to animate from the end to the start point. Because this animation will go from left to right, I will keyframe the horizontal and width property. While I change the width property, you can see there is a black box appearing. That's the transparent background. I don't know what actually causes this, but you know you hit the background if you see something like that. Adjust the width until you don't see any black borders and the whole diagram is visible. You will need to adjust the horizontal property as well. If you are pleased with the width, adjust the height and the vertical property. When the whole diagram is visible, you reached the end point. Now enable the keyframing, in this case the keyframing of the horizontal and width property. Move the playhead to the start point. Reduce the width to a small percentage, like 4 or 5%. Adjust the horizontal and width property in tandem until you get to the starting point. So in this case 0 on the x-axis. So let's watch the result. It's stuttering due to the screen capture. If you want to use several mask filter on the same picture, you have to use the operation add instead of write on clear. Thank you for watching.